Hi again to all the fashionistas out there. This is Nicole, fashion consultant for Pageant contestants and women executives. Today I'm going to be recapping my favorite looks from the Miss Grand International 2025 interview segment of the competition. And I'm not just going to be going over why these looks were stylish, but also how they could help you if you are a Pageant contestant to really communicate your value, your professionalism, as well as your personality through possible inspiration from the looks that you're about to see. And these looks are in no particular order. And the interview is perhaps one of the most, if not in some pageant systems, the most important part of a pageant. It's scored very heavily oftentimes, and it's the time when the judges truly get to know who you are, as it's the only time you're really going to be intimate with the judges. So in addition to your personality shining through, your wardrobe needs to be an extension of your personality through things like colors and fine details that you may have in what you wear during the interview. So these looks, like I said, are in no particular order, and hopefully you will find value and inspiration from some of these looks when preparing for your next pageant interview. So without further ado, first up we have Nigeria, and this was a very gorgeous, bold, red outfit that was a cultural nod to the Nigerian culture, and I really liked how she showed that a big part of who she was and the reason why she's here was for her country through what she had on during the interview. And I really loved the details within this outfit. I loved it looked like she had beading up at the top on the bodice area, and I love how it was a peplum. It had a peplum effect up at the top with the beading on the sides, and I loved the detail that she had on the bodice part of one side of the dress. It looked like it was a tulle and it was ruffled. So it really stood out, and her look is a perfect example of how to give reference to your community if you're participating maybe at like a state or a local pageant, or if you're participating in a national or international pageant. You can incorporate elements of your heritage into your wardrobe for interview to show that it really is very important and really had great impacts and implications on who you are and the reason why you're here today. So great job, Nigeria. Peru. So what did it for me with this outfit was how it really complemented her skin tone very well. This is almost like a seafoam green shade, and it went really great up against her skin tone. She has a fair skin tone, so this shade of pastel really worked for her. And I loved the fine details within the jumpsuit. It had the sash across the waist and the asymmetrical draping on both sides, and I really love the pearl detail up at the top. And it's not just your average jumpsuit, it gives queen vibes. And this is very appropriate for this particular pageant system, given that it's grand. And you can get away with wearing things in the grand system that you might not be able to in other systems because it's grand and they appreciate the extraness. So really knowing the system that you're participating in and what works and what doesn't. And she does a great example of showing how to incorporate both silhouettes and colors that complement you, as well as being on brand with the system that you're competing in. So great job to Peru. Spain, she looked so well put together. I loved everything. The hair was on point. There wasn't a single strand out of place. I love the high ponytail on her. And I really love this canary yellow jumpsuit that she had on, and it really worked for her figure very well, as in the center it looked like it was a corset and it really cinched in the waist, making her look very well put together and really in tune with her body and her figure and knowing how to dress it. And she was also very well coordinated. I don't think she brought her purse in the interview room because usually you can't, but she had silver, it looked like silver beading on the bodice part of the jumpsuit, and then she had a matching silver handbag I saw in the full body picture of her interview outfit on social media. It looked really great. It complemented her well. And the material, it was like a silk or sateen material. It looked really rich and fine, and it said queen. So this is an example of great styling and really being in tune with colors that complement you well as really sending queenly vibes through what you're wearing, showing that you're ready to be the next title holder. So Trinidad and Tobago, her outfit teaches us it's really all in fine details, as this was a simple red suit, but what really made it pop and stand out and eye-catching was the sleeves. The sleeves had big flowers on the wrist part of them, and that really made it stand out, as well as it tied in the center and it was cut out up at the top. That really made it pop as well. And when choosing an outfit for interview, if you want to go the more conservative route but you still want to stand out, that's a great way to do it, is by adding more details like the flowers that she has on her sleeves. Or if you wanted something more subtle, you could easily have gotten a suit, like a plain suit, and added a flower up at the top to really give it that extra pop. Dominican Republic, this is an example of a classy, elegant, and very queenly look. This color really stood out. It was a great color up against her deeper skin tone. It was like a pastel light pink, and it really had a queenly look about it. It looked very regal given the sash on the side, as well as the material that was hanging from the one side of the jumpsuit, as well as the material that the jumpsuit itself was made out of. And I really like the neckline, how it was high on one side and it had the whole asymmetrical effect, and her hair was really on point. I really love the soft wave. So this gave an overall simple yet elegant and powerful queenly vibe. So Guyana's look gives us a lesson on how to really amp up what otherwise could have been a very simple look. It was a black suit, and I don't know if she bought it like this or if she added the material that was hanging from the lapel and the shoulder part of the suit. But either way, it really made the suit pop and stand out, and it really caught my eye as soon as she walked into the interview room. I love the tassels as well as the sequins that were going on up at the top of the design that she had on the suit, and it really was offset well by the black. It was a plain black suit, but what really enhanced it, like I said, was the design that she had up at the top of the suit on the shoulder part and hanging from the lapel. And I really love how she had her hair up in an updo, so that way all the attention was brought to the design up at the top. So this was an overall great, stylish, simple, yet really eye-catching look, and teaches all of us queens a lesson on, if you want to go the simple route, or maybe you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on a suit, how to really amp it up and make it look elevated. So Paraguay, when I saw Paraguay, I said this was a collar fit for a queen. It was so big and dramatic, and it was the first thing that caught my eye when she walked into the interview room. I was like, yes, she looks like a queen with that collar. It's really big, really dramatic, and it really made a statement that gave off very regal vibes. So if you want to give off regal vibes, that's one way to do it, is in details like the collar of the suit or dress that you're wearing, or blouse. And I like that she paired it with an updo, as since the collar is so big, she wanted the attention to be on the collar. So it really enhanced the collar, so that way all eyes was on that. And I loved the peplum that she had on the bottom of the suit jacket. It gave it a really polished, sharp, and refined look, and it was really figure flattering. And this was an overall regal and queenly look that really sent the message that she's the queen. So Cuba's look is a great example of being on brand with the pageant that you're competing in. As I stated before, with NGI, you can get away with very dramatic and over-the-top looks that you typically would not want to wear to other pageant systems, especially for the interview portion. But because it's grand, she could get away with wearing this jumpsuit. Everything, I mean, it was very fierce look. Everything from the color, it was a very bright orange, to the sleeves that looked like flames. It just said fierce, and I am it. And I really liked how she kept her accessories minimal, because the jumpsuit already said a lot, and it allowed all eyes to be on the jumpsuit, and it was a very statement-making piece. So if you want to wear something very dramatic and over the top, this is the way to do it. And also make sure that you read the room and know what system you're competing in to know. Czech Republic. This was another very queenly, regal, and sophisticated look. It was an off-the-shoulder dress. The dress itself was black. It was black. And then the off-the-shoulder part was white, and it was really big and dramatic. And it just kind of reminded me of a cape that you would see a queen wearing, or a collar that you would see on the suit of a queen. And I really loved the waist and how it was gathered. It was a white belt with the rhinestone in the center, and it was an overall simple yet elegant look. And if you want to do simple yet elegant and send the message of being regal, this was the way to do it. And last but not least, I have Nicaragua. So this look is a great example of how to utilize accessories to the fullest extent and not go over the top with them. She had on a white jumpsuit, and then the cape was what was really eye-catching about it. It looked like it was made of pearls or some kind of rhinestone, but it kind of gave me like a superhero vibes, like she was Superwoman, very powerful and authoritative, and came to save the day, and she definitely did with this jumpsuit. And I like that she had her hair up so that way all the attention was on the jumpsuit. And this jumpsuit not only works for MGI interviews, but you could also wear it for another pageant, for like fun fashion or a runway segment, or even if there's a white party. This would really be an eye-catching look. So comment below and let me know, what was your favorite interview look and who gave the best interview in your opinion at the Miss Grand International 2025 interview segment. So if you're a pageant queen and you have a pageant coming up and you may find any part of pageant wardrobe to be intimidating and overwhelming, don't hesitate to reach out to me and see how I can be of service to you, to take the guesswork out of what is a very iconic and important part of pageantry, which is your wardrobe, wanting it to be an extension of who you are and sending the message that you're the right woman for the title holder. So I hope this video helped, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.